everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to the start of another weekly reading vlog. So today is Sunday and I'm at Sonic right now because I just had to make a run for more boxes because we are leaving our house tomorrow. So we're out of boxes, need to make another run. Sonic's right by it. I mean, it just makes sense, right? So getting Sonic right now, but I am halfway-ish into Love for Beginners by Jill Shalvis, and this is number 7 in her Wildstone series, and I am really enjoying it. So this is like just what I need at this time. So this is about a girl. I'm already blanking on her name. Doggone it. I'm blanking on her name, but she was hit by a car. She was a runner and she was hit by a car, and so she was in a coma for like 2 months and then had to go to a rehab facility for like 10 months. And so now, while she was in a coma, her fiance and her best friend started hooking up. So needless to say, that's over. She gets out of the rehab center, and now her fiance is living in the apartment that her and her best friend shared, so she has to find somewhere to live. So she has a personal trainer who's this hunky guy, and he also happens to have an apartment availability. He has like an apartment building that he manages for his dad. There's 4 apartments. He lives in one, and now she lives in another. So that storyline is going on, and like watching her recovery, and I am totally like relating to her hard. Emma, I think is her name. Like she's like stubborn but strong-willed and determined, and she is just I relate to her a lot. Sorry you guys, I got punked and thought it was our order and it was not. But anyway, so then there's also the storyline of the personal trainer's cousin, who her name is Allison, and Allison and Emma were high school rivals, and now there's also a way they have to interact because Emma also is a dog trainer, and she like doesn't have full use of her left arm after her car accident or getting hit by a car, and so she's having a really hard time finding a job. And then something happens with this like pet place, and so Emma and Allison have to interact again. Allison I don't like at all. And she's like painfully introverted, which I don't understand. Like, I don't understand because I'm not, but I can like empathize and sympathize with that. But she also like had this guy that she was in love with and stuff, and all he wanted was for her to like care about his family and stuff. Like, he's extroverted, she's introverted, and she just is like has the communication skills of like my 3-year-old. They are terrible, and to the point that like I don't feel bad for her, because it's like, of course he left. Like, all he's asking you to do is like say that you give a darn, and I mean she does, she just won't communicate that to him. And so there's that going on. Also the beef between her and Emma was stupid, and she was stupid. So that's my thoughts as of now. I'll update when I finish it. Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, and I'm getting gas. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm getting gas and finally going over to our house because we officially stayed at my parents' last night. And any adult children who have, or adult people who have gone and stayed with their parents, like, that is just an adventure in and of itself. And then we thought we had a good bed situation going on, and the longest my children slept last night was 38 minutes. You guys, like, they just kind of tag teamed. Like, it was a very long and exhausting night, but that's okay. So, this morning I got up and actually was able to do a workout. I finally got them both asleep at the same time. So I got up and did a workout, and I'm so tired that I probably shouldn't have, but it was so good for my mental health. And so then the morning has just been a mess. And so it's 10 o'clock and I'm just now getting over to our house, but that's okay. So any of you who are in your forever home, stop right now and say, thank you, Lord, I'm in my forever home, because moving is hard. But that to say, I finished Love for Beginners a few days ago, or maybe yesterday. I have no idea, and I liked it a lot. So I always debate with Jill Shalvis books, like, do I do 3.5? Do I do 4? Because I really enjoy the reading experience, but they're also not ones that I'm going to remember forever. So I think probably like a 3.5, but a strong 3.5. I think I already said this book is about Emma and Simon. Emma is, she was hit by a car when she was running, and she went into a coma for 2 months and then a rehab facility for 10 months. And while that was happening, her best friend and her boyfriend or fiance were sleeping together and now live together. So she doesn't really have anywhere to go. So she gets an apartment from Simon, who is her physical therapist. And Simon is running his like family real estate company for a while because his dad had some health issues. And so he's just doing physical therapy a little bit here on the side, even though that's his passion. So it's their romance, and that was fun. There's also the storyline of Allison and Jeff. And Allison is both Simon's cousin and kind of a frenemy of Emma's from high school. And I never got to like Allison more. I mean, yes, she has reasons for being the way she is. And yes, she has a lot of anxiety and a lot of walls and that kind of stuff. But that is not an excuse to be a turd. I didn't like her. I didn't care about her storyline. And I thought Jeff was right for not being with her, which is really terrible. But grace, forgiveness, all those things. Yay, yay, yay. This is about people learning to love and letting people in. And I liked it. It was good. It was entertaining. It was great. I just don't know that I'll remember it forever. So, I hope she continues to write more in this Wildstone series, because I do like, they are like very borderline women's fiction as opposed to romance. I would say this one's more of a romance, but they're borderline, and I like that. So next I'm reading Ghosts by Dolly Alderton, and that actually comes out today, August 3rd, but it is a re-release. I think it was originally published in 2020. And this is kind of interesting. I've never read a Dolly Alderton before. And this is definitely a women's fiction. This is about a 32-year-old woman, I think. I think she's 32. And she's single. And it's just her life. She's British. And she's kind of been ghosted by this guy. And she's got a best friend who's doing some things. And all of her... There's a lot of commentary on, like, being single in your 30s and what that looks like and how people kind of treat you and talk to you and what it feels like when everybody else is married and all of that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate that. And I'm enjoying it. There's just not much that's happening. And I'm probably, like, 2/3 of the way through. So there's that. Yeah, that's the day. So, yeah. I did a treadmill workout, you guys, this morning, which I really don't like doing treadmill workouts. At home, I either elliptical or do other things, and I like them already kind of sore. So, yay, 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 yay. But I just love it. And some mornings, I just wake up and say, thank you, God, that I have working legs, because that is such a good stress reliever for me. So, yay for that. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you when I finish Ghosts. Hey everyone, it is Thursday, and I have a lot to update on reading-wise. I finished Ghosts by Dolly Alderton, and that I don't really have any other thoughts on. I think if you're a big fan of Dolly Alderton, you might really like this. It's a women's fiction, just kind of, I've talked to Bree from for Falling for Romance, is her name on Instagram, and she is a fan of Dolly Alderton's podcast and all that kind of stuff, and so she said this is like very typical of her kind of just style, is just kind of a fun women's fiction, really delving into all the facets of this woman's life. And so it was fun. If you're not a fan of women's fiction, I would say don't pick it up, because there's really not a lot of romance or anything besides just like hanging out with this girl. So I liked it. And then I read The Dating Dare by J.C. Lee, and I gave it 2.5 stars. Sorry, I'm filming on my phone and my phone rang, so I got cut off. But I read The Dating Dare by J.C. Lee, which is number 2 in her Sweet Mess series, and I really wanted to read book 1, but I have not read it. I got this as an ARC from Libro FM and NetGalley, so I wanted to read it, and I read it, and I gave it 2.5 stars. So this is about two people who meet at a wedding, and they make this, like, he's the typical guy that she does not want to, like, he's cocky and that kind of stuff. She's like, I don't want any part of that. She also has been burned before in a relationship, so she doesn't want to be in a relationship. And same for him. He doesn't want to be in a relationship. And so they make this dating dare that he's going to Paris for a job in a month. So they're going to go on 4 dates, and it's a bet that, like, you can't not fall in love with me. And so they do that. And this book really lacked depth for me, and like their baggage and stuff that they had was both just like silly and immature, like felt very young. I also really didn't like either of them. And like the main female, I can't even remember her name at this point, but she said something about she's a beer brewer, and I loved that. You don't often see that in books, especially when like for a female. So I really loved that part. But she was talking in one part about how she wanted to learn more about wines, and she didn't want to just take a summer tasting class or something. So she just went and spent the summer in Paris. Like, okay, check your privilege at the door, sis. So there's that. And he was an artist, and so I really liked that kind of like role reversal that of the like typical she's the beer brewer and he's the artist. I kind of like that. So that's really all I liked about it, though. So 2.5 stars on that. It's also super steamy, so I don't love that. And like all of their thoughts and stuff, like from the beginning, were very just like lustful. And I just don't get invested in relationships like that, because it's like there's really no quality to it. And I don't understand, like, what's the point in doing this dating? Just to kill time and stuff. And like, I don't know, like the whole dare is like, okay, so, or else what? Like, I don't, just say you're gonna hang out for the summer. Like, that's dumb. So, didn't like that. This vlog is so typical. I'll tell you what's going on in just a minute. But then I read This Will All Be Over Soon by Cicely Strong. And I don't know Cicely Strong. I think she's part of Saturday Night Live, maybe. This is just her experience through 2020 and what a mess it was. And she had a cousin that was really close to her that died right before all of the COVID stuff happened. And she lived in New York City, of course, because she's on Saturday Night Live. But she went to upstate New York, like right when this was all happening, and ended up staying up there. And she was connected with quite a few people who got COVID and died. And so, I think this was kind of just wrong book at the wrong time for me. And I don't know her, so maybe I would have enjoyed it more if I know her and like was already endeared to her. But I don't know anything about her, so it was just a generic kind of, I mean, I hate to say 3 stars, but kind of middle of the road memoir for me. Yeah, and wrong book at the wrong time, because I am living a nightmare right now, you guys. If you pray, please pray for us. Our buyers decided not to close yesterday. They just didn't show up for closing, so that puts us in a bind where today we were supposed to be closing on our house, our new house, and we can't. So we're trying to figure out, this is obviously going to end up being a legal thing more than it already is. And the courts, I guess, are backed up 12 to 18 months because of COVID. I don't know what we're going to do, you guys. And as of now, my babies are kind of homeless, so we are living with my parents for the time being. We'll just see how it all plays out, but it's stressful. So my reading has definitely stopped. The reason I got so much done like before that was because I had, like, my mom kept the kids and I put an earbud, that's the dog, AirPod is the word I was looking for. I put an AirPod in and just packed and listened to books. And so that's how I got a lot done. But now my head is so all over. I threw my one headphone away because I didn't, like, I kept my tissue and threw away the AirPod. And I couldn't find my phone while I put it with my toothpaste, because that makes sense. Like, my mind is just a jumbled mess. So I have started All We Ever Wanted Was Everything by Janelle Brown, but I am not very far into it, and I don't have a lot to say. And I just don't have a lot of like mental energy to focus on anything. So I don't know what this vlog will end up being, but that is where we're at. Please pray for us or send good vibes or whatever. I don't know how it's all going to work out, and the not knowing is hard. So, yeah, as if moving wasn't fun enough, but I'm really trying to be positive and see what good stuff can come out of this. We'll see. So I'll check in later. Hey everyone, it is Saturday and I'm actually just leaving the gym, which I don't normally go to a gym just because I don't like have childcare, and you know, since COVID, like working out with a mask on is really hard. But I injured my leg yesterday, and I've been doing just treadmill workouts because that's what my parents have. But today I'm really hurting. So I tried a couple times and it didn't work. So I just went here and did some elliptical, and that felt really good. So just finished that, feeling like a new person. It's 100 degrees out right now. Feels like something like 110. So I'm like sweating bullets, but yeah, you don't care about that. House-wise, we finally closed on both houses yesterday. So things are much better. There is a lawsuit guaranteed, so this is not over, but it is a mess, and I'm feeling a lot better. Jeremy's at our new house. We are still here with my parents, and you guys, we are getting spoiled rotten. Like, being able to go to the gym and have just built-in childcare is a really great thing, and so it's gonna be a slap in the face when we get back to reality, but right now it's great. So thank you, Mom and Dad. I know you're probably watching this. Thanks for helping us out and letting us crash your party. As far as reading goes, I finished All We Ever Wanted Was Everything by Janelle Brown, I think is her name. And this has really low ratings on Goodreads. I mean, it's like a 3.2 or something. And I thought it was all right. I'll probably give it like a 3.5, like a low 3.5. But it's about 3 women. The mom, Janice, I think is her name, and then her 2 daughters. One is, oh my goodness, I am blanking on names. The one's quite a bit older, and then one's like 14. And all 3 women are at different, kind of like crossroads in their lives, but like unpleasant crossroads. So with the mom, the dad just, like, he was a part of some pharmaceutical something, and the stock just broke a whole bunch, making him like trillions of dollars. Well, the day that happened, he left her, and he had like tricked her into signing this 1,000,000-page document that said, like, if they got divorced, that she wouldn't get any part of this thing, the money from this thing. So she is left and doesn't have any money or anything. She's also got some addiction issues and some different things going on. So that's her life. And then the next daughter, I want to say it's like Meredith or something, but that's not it. Anyway, she was like in New York, trying to make it there, and things just aren't going for her. She was a magazine writer and stuff, and just things aren't going good for her. So then the youngest is 14, and she was like formerly chubby, formerly very promiscuous, you know, just trying to find acceptance and love somewhere, and that's all kind of blown up on her, and she's now like lost a bunch of weight. But I don't know what her weight had to do with anything really, except yeah, I actually don't know what that had to do with anything, but it was mentioned quite a few times. But so that they all are like coming together. The younger sister calls the older sister and is like, hey, Mom's not in a good spot, can you come here? So they all get together, and that's the book. And this book is full of not really likable characters. Like, I mean, when I say that, I'm like, I want to see redemption and girl power, and yeah, let's all, like, we don't need no man. But we didn't really like these girls. Like, they weren't great. I mean, they were fine, and they all, like, the mom tricked the dad into marrying her by getting pregnant, and so that's great. You know, they all just have really odd things going on with them. So not very likable characters, and then also just kind of a downer of a plot. Like, I want to say there's like that big powerful end message, but there's really kind of not. So I get why people don't love this book. I enjoyed the experience of it. I'm a women's fiction lover, so I don't care. Like, women and like their relationships were really interesting, and watching those develop and change as all of this happened was really interesting to me. So 3.5 stars. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to most people, but if you're a women's fiction lover and you're super curious, maybe check it out. So that is the end of this vlog. I'm going to go home now and get the kids, and we are going to go down to my sister-in-law. She actually lives like walking distance from my parents. So, and they have 2 kids, and so we're going to have some cousin time and then just do dinner, and that's it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you for sticking with me during this weird, emotional, really hard week. I think things are on the upswing, and next week we will be going up to our new house, so you guys will get to see it. I don't know, Jeremy's up there doing a couple different projects and things that need to be done, like specifically to the girls' rooms, so we're trying to get that done before the girls are in them. So we'll be up there sometime next week, and you'll see it then. So we'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you.